Hey, it's Dan again, and welcome back to Unified Gaming. Now if you enjoyed the video, then like, subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay up to date. So I'm back again on the Magicka Necromancer Frozen Colossus build, which has improved significantly between the last video and this video. Loads of things have changed. I'm better on the build, but also I've got loads of skills morphed that I should have had morphed originally, and it's becoming really well for group play. Really enjoy the burst, the damage. So this video is going to kind of showcase what it can do in BGs particularly, and then I'll also outline kind of what I'm running briefly with some sort of skills, but I will go through this more in depth in the build video, so make sure you check that out. And without any delay, we're going to look at that gameplay footage, and I'll kind of give you an analysis of kind of what I'm doing, so you kind of got an idea of how you may want to play this build. Now I just would like to point out that obviously this is how I play it. It might not be the best way, but this works for me and I enjoy it, and I think it gives the Magicka Necromancer some sort of use in group play. So obviously, as you saw, I did a massive ult bomb with the Colossus, and then loads of people stole my kills. I'm using the Scythe for just more AoE pressure, and obviously all of the damage is basically AoE damage. I'm using the Scythe, I'm using a Wall of Elements, and I'm using Avid Boneyard. So I've got 3 good AoEs that I can use. The Scythe being the spammable. I use Blast Bones for single target damage, which obviously also is an AoE. The greens jump on me as I just run up the hill to not get killed. And I know obviously there's Werewolf is going to push into him quite heavily because he thinks he's sort of God mode with Werewolf on. And sometimes that sort of confidence can make him die. Then obviously I know the greens are pushing up, so I shut down my ult and I move back and try to obviously move away from the purples on the right. I get obviously hit with like 3 ults, so I managed to survive that. And by having 2 big shields, it really helps. And to obviously help with the survivability, I'm actually using Grave Grasp, and that's a really good skill from the Necromancer skill line. What it allows you to do is basically instantly immobilize somebody, and it also adds a 50% snare. And then because of that, I can then put on my Avid Boneyard and synergize with it. And if I use Harmony, which I've played around with, it's really strong because it gives you a massive AoE burst on the sort of synergy. I don't actually have it in this clip here, but it's just something that's worth sort of noting. You do, however, lose out on just flat damage and on your sort of just shields as well. And I'm using a Frost Staff, as you probably noticed. Again, this is just for more control, so I know this tank's low on resource. I kind of leave him, and my job really is to keep people sort of snared. That's kind of what my job is for the group, is keep people slow, reducing the damage with maim, because obviously you've got an Ice Staff. And then on top of that, you can then chuck out your Colossus and your Avid Boneyard to create a high AoE burst in a big group. And the highest number of people I've dropped is 6 with it. In this bit here, obviously I'm trying to kill this Magicka, and he's actually doing a really good job. He's obviously healing when he should, and he's using Mistfall when he should, but he's obviously really low on sustain and resources, so he's trying to kite back around. He's then obviously jumped into somebody else, but obviously I'm going to just keep on him and focus him, knowing full well that he's pretty much out of resources and he's waiting for a pot, and I know my team are around there, and then it's obviously quite an easy kill now. And then obviously I'll continue pushing around, and in a moment I get hit by a snipe, because there was actually a sniper in this match, which is really irritating. But as you can see, I'll put down the AoEs, and then that means that obviously if something happens, I've got my AoEs to sit in, which kind of pressures people away from you. Respawn and get back in the fight. I see the greens are pushing up, so as I see them come to me, I cast Blast Bones as usual, check out my ult, check out my snare, and it's really good to check out Grave Grasp whilst the ult's firing, because that usually will snare the person, and then they'll break free from the CC, and then the Colossus will hit them a 3rd time, which will stun them, so you basically drain their stamina twice. It's really horrible, and you can kind of see where the score got to. Second clip, I'm on the same spec, so obviously I'm running max Magicka build, and I also got Bloodspawn on for some resistance and ult gen. Obviously get jumped on straight away, so I just literally run around and just kite. Obviously keeping with that kind of control theme, my job again is to obviously keep people snared and controlled and AoEs on the floor. And I'm using the Scythe to create some burst. I see the greens jump in, so I check out my Colossus here, do a ton of damage to all the group I gets feared, so wasn't able to capitalise on that, otherwise I would have synergised and used the Scythe and would have probably got 2 or 3 more kills on top. I'm getting quite a lot of pressure here, so obviously I just put on my shields, I put on my Spirit Mender, and again obviously I go for the Scythe because it heals me as well, so I've got 2 really big hots on me. And then again I try to keep people locked in place, slow them down, so it means they have to spend resources to even move, or they have to just sit in sort of the damage fields. And they don't do masses of damage, but it's enough to kind of whittle you down and sort of eat on you, which is really frustrating. Obviously I see that this, obviously, Necromancer's coming to his ult form. I get hit with Dawnbreaker again, and then Elite, but shields, I go upstairs and I die. As I've got my Sigil Order maxed, obviously a whole block just put on a shield, which is very helpful. Pop my immovability pot, This Stam Talk comes up to me and he's obviously hit me really hard with bleeds. I think it's the Stam Talk. So obviously I know I need to put my Mender up and then I hit block to get that shield again, so that way I'll get the tick from the bleed. And I repeat again. This time I try to kill him though, but he moves out of it and the Colossus is actually hitting, but he obviously doesn't render in this case. Then I pop down, obviously jump in the portal. I know he's jumping soon, so I put on the AoEs on the floor. And I know obviously that there's a chance that he might be able to blow himself up, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So again, he's hitting me with the bleeds, which obviously slow me, so I'm just using my channel deceleration, the race against time to move around. The greens have a healer at this point, so one of them actually switched to a healer spec because they were just dying. So just got rid of the healer, and then it's only a couple of people left. Again, that Stam Talk is focusing on me once more. So obviously I'm just using shields to sort of take damage, keep my Spirit Mender on when this happens, and then put my armor buff as it needs. I know that he's really low on resource, so my job is just rush him as quick as I can using the scythe, which he can't dodge. And then I run up the hill, and obviously the purples come in this time, and obviously I'm using the chained armor pull, which is really helpful. It pulls people in. I noticed that one of them is a tank, so I kind of just put him in the AoEs and just leave him on the floor, so he's just slow. And I kind of wait for them to sort of clump together. And then as they're getting closer and closer together, I begin to do my combo. So Blast Bones, Colossus. Unfortunately, they roll out because he had the soft CC immunity, so I couldn't actually snare him. Otherwise, he would have died. But I push into him again. He's on a Necromancer himself. I get hit with a horrible stun. Someone's hit with Blister, so another ult on me. Put on my healing ward or ward ally. That's always what you want to fire first because it gives you a bigger shield. And then I put on Harness Magicka on top and whack on my Spirit Mender to give me the heal, and that's really helpful. I then go up and see this person here, so obviously I go for the skeleton again, and then obviously go for the snare. The greens then push into our ally. Obviously I am healing a lot of my teammates. You'll see the green ones pop up, but unfortunately they don't actually show on the score sheet because there's a bug with the Spirit Mender. But obviously when I see that he gets low, I pop Spirit Mender or pop Ward Ally, so that way he doesn't die, because obviously being outnumbered makes this less effective. It's good, you can still do 1-1, but it's not as effective. So again, obviously they've got loads of sort of AoE damage in that middle, and I was stuck inside it, and then they had a healer, which obviously didn't help. So at the moment, I'm just telling the group that look, there's a healer in there. He's the guy sort of spamming the springs, so he's putting his stuff in the air. So obviously you need to focus him. We're doing really well as a team, all completely random, so that's really good. Kind of how well we're doing. Rush straight back in, but just get my stamina to about 60%, so I don't sort of run out. Then I push obviously up to the purples, see kind of they're fighting. That tank's doing sort of nothing really, so just leave him there. He's just free resource. And then obviously I focus the healer, so I notice that they've got a healer. And then I get really close to actually killing him, as you'll see in a sec. But unfortunately, all of his teammates rightly healed him, so he gets really low. He gets popped with 2 Vigors and a Spirit Mender, which obviously saves him. I'm going to die, so I put on my shields, use Race Against Time, jump over the rock, and I run behind the enemy this time, which it seems a bit counterintuitive, but I know that it's just other bodies that can take the damage rather than me, and I know that he doesn't hit particularly hard. So my job obviously is just to whittle him down, so get the skeleton up, Blast Bones, and snare him, having that 50% snare from Grave Grasp, as you can see he can't move, and he's just having to spend so much Magicka just to get out of the way. So it's really, really helpful, because he just drains stamina, and it just makes it hard to get out of those AoE fields with AoE damage. Again, obviously they've managed to take out the healer, so you see these greens drop a bit. This Stam Talk is running a really good setup. He looks like he's probably impreg, because he just takes very little damage, and he's running probably Master's Axis, so he's one I'm careful of. There's a sniper at the back on the hill, the purple on the left. He's obviously hit people with Power of the Light trying to get cheeky kills. Now the snare thing that I'm running, one of the other enemies have actually started realising what I'm doing, so they started to put on Ice Staff as well to try and do the same sort of thing. So that green dude trying to sort of snare at me then. And obviously my job is to just keep that Race Against Time up so I don't get fall into that sort of trap. Really, really helpful. I know this tank's quite low, but I won't kill him because he's got obviously the big Colossus nearby, and he's got another like 80k health. And now I'm really low on resource, so I just fall back to my group. And then I get heavily focused now by loads of people, as you can see. And then they stop fighting and go for the purples. So I see if I can get a cheeky kill. I'm pushing a bit too hard, and unfortunately that was a bit foolish of me because there is the other purple Templar sniping. So he's going to snipe them on top of the hill. And I didn't die because of that, thankfully, but that was quite risky. So next time, obviously, just be careful how hard you push. Always make sure you get the Blast Bones. That Stam Talk comes in. He hits me with Dawnbreaker, get Power of the Light on me. So what I'm trying to do is basically stay alive, but just pushing the shield and blocking. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Power of the Light was 5,700 because of the bleeds and just the dots, so it's really, really high considering I have loads of armor and mitigation. Obviously, I push up the hill. See that Templar that killed me a minute ago because of the Power of the Light, so I push into him. And then, as I know I've got Assault with me, and I've got a few people, Blast Bones will be up, throw that with Colossus, do damage there. Weaken him, the Assault finishes them off, we then take out the last one really fast. Again, if I lock him in place, the Assault's got a free kill. And nice and easy. Obviously, on this setup you will get many, many assists, so obviously do sort of factor that in. And yeah, so it's kind of built around that really. This is kind of the playstyle that I decided to sort of control the opponents, do AoE damage, and then use your synergy and the Blast Bones with Colossus to sort of create high AoE bursts. That seems to work for me. So it might not be the best way of playing it, but I said that works for me and it works really effectively, as you can see. Some matches are better than others, so yeah, that's it really. Now if you enjoyed the video, then like, subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay up to date.